Right before the final exams, the school queen put herself up as a prize. She posted a dare directly on the school's online forum. Whoever can knock the top-ranked student down gets to be my boyfriend. To win her, my two childhood friends, Ethan and Jake, acted simultaneously. One tried to lure me into cutting class, the other tried to distract me with a high school romance. Watching their absurd plan unfold, I couldn't help but laugh, yet I calmly played along with their whole show. In the second and third mock exams, I intentionally let my rankings slip. All three of them thought their plan had worked, but they had no idea the real drama was just beginning. The day I received my early acceptance letter to Stanford and MIT, I scrolled past a dare on the school forum. It promised, whoever can knock the top-ranked student down gets to be my boyfriend. It was accompanied by a picture of a girl with a perfect, yet hidden, face. The tone was arrogant, the reward provocative. In just a few minutes, the post's views soared past 1,000. Just as it was about to go viral, the principal and the head counselor swiftly took it down. Both of their expressions were grim. My mood wasn't much better, because the top-ranked student was me, Vivian Hayes. The principal ranted about how reckless students were nowadays, then anxiously turned to me. "Vivian, don't take this to heart, it's just a malicious prank. I'll handle it seriously." He didn't know who posted it and said he would investigate, but I knew very well. Only one person would dare to pull a stunt targeting me, the reigning school queen, Claire Bell. After all, since the beginning of senior year, she had been grinding her teeth declaring war on me. She vowed to drag me into the mud. I just didn't expect that after thinking for a whole semester, she'd come up with such a stupid and vicious idea. I was annoyed, but my face remained perfectly composed. "Principal, I understand. Don't worry, I won't let it distract me." I figured the AP tests were coming up, and no one would actually commit self-sabotage for a silly post. Claire must have posted it purely to provoke me, but I was wrong. Not only were there people willing to do it, but there was more than one. And to my surprise, my two lifelong friends, Ryan Cooper and Liam Scott, were also playing this game. The moment I heard they were throwing a party to celebrate my poor performance, I rushed to the storage closet door to watch the show. I saw Claire surrounded by the crowd, clearly thrilled. Half drunk and stumbling, she bumped into Ryan. Ryan's expression darkened, but he immediately caught her, his voice incredibly soft. "That's enough. Don't drink anymore." "But I'm happy today," Brainiac Claire giggled lazily, drawing circles on his chest with one hand, mumbling, "Do you know? Vivian, just because she's smart, always looks down on me. But look now, she won't even make it into a top-tier school. Ryan and I have been friends for over 10 years, yet hearing Claire slander me, he didn't stop her. Instead, he frowned with a pained look. Didn't I teach her a lesson for you?" Thank you, you're the best." Claire sweetly thanked him, her eyes twinkling. Ryan was clearly moved by her closeness, and a slight curve appeared on his lips. He looked like he wanted to say more when a hand suddenly appeared, pulling Claire away from him, only thanking him, but not me? Liam raised an eyebrow, his eyes playful and a bit mocking. If I hadn't dragged Vivian to skip classes, would her grades have dropped so quickly? Claire burst out laughing. She leveled the playing field, flashing an identical, sweet smile at Liam. "Thank you too." Only then did Liam scoff, looking smug. Every word fell clearly into my ears. This wasn't the first time I'd heard it. Ever since Claire's post appeared and I knew Ryan and Liam were trying to sabotage me for her, every time my score dropped, Claire would say similar things. And my attitude towards Ryan and Liam had shifted from initial indignation to the cold stillness of standing water. I knew this game was about to reach its final chapter. Inside the storage room, no one seemed bothered by the two boys competing for the girl. Claire's close friends even watched with envious sighs. "Claire, you're so lucky. If Vivian knew her two best friends were fighting over you, she'd probably die of anger." Claire lifted her chin haughtily. "Vivian's annoyed me for 3 years of high school. This is just the beginning. Just wait until then. I'm going to..." Claire said something else, which I didn't quite catch, but I guessed it was another way to torment me. A burst of loud laughter immediately erupted inside, as if they had just heard a fascinating game plan. No one objected to her idea, and the looks Ryan and Liam gave her were a blend of indulgence and casual permission. "Okay, whatever you say." I calmly heard Ryan and Liam's reply, feeling nothing inside. It was as if what they were casually agreeing to was a trivial matter, not a decision that could completely ruin me during the crucial SAT at testing period. Hearing the celebrations start again inside, I expressionlessly turned and walked away, conveniently locking the storage room door from the outside. Then, I knocked on the head counselor's office door. "Sir, I just walked past the storage room and thought I heard some strange noises inside." Half an hour later, the entire senior building was buzzing. My class was also drawn in, but since it was evening study hall, everyone, though itching with curiosity, had to stay put. My deskmate Jenna was a gossip fanatic. Not knowing what was happening, she was going crazy with impatience. "Vivian, how are you not curious at all?" Seeing me calmly studying, she couldn't help inquire. I smiled faintly. "Curious about what? Don't you want to know what's happening outside?" "I do, but I can pretty much guess. It's just Claire and her friends getting caught by the principal, and now they're scrambling for a way out." Just as I thought that, my phone vibrated intensely in my pocket. Simultaneous texts from Ryan and Liam flooded in. "Vivian, where are you? Hurry to the storage room and unlock the door." "Vivian, I'm locked in the storage room. Come open the door for me, fast." It looked like they hadn't been caught yet, but they were close. Thinking this, my mood instantly brightened. I finished 2 more practice problems, completely putting Claire and their drama out of my mind. When the study hall ended, I walked home. At the gate of my apartment complex, I saw Ryan waiting. Standing under the streetlight, his face was as dark as the night. "Vivian, what's wrong with you? Didn't you see the texts I sent?" He opened his mouth with an immediate interrogation. A wave of annoyance and disgust surged inside me, but I forced myself to endure it. "What text did you send me?" I pretended to pull out my phone, acting as if I'd just seen the messages, and exclaimed in surprise, "You were locked in the storage room. Why didn't you say so sooner?" Ryan was so angry his lips were pressed into a thin line while I continued to press him. "Why were you locked in the storage room? What happened? Tell me." Ryan obviously couldn't tell the truth. His breathing was heavy, but he had to swallow his frustration. He muttered nothing. Then he turned and walked away. Behind him, I let out a soft, cold laugh. When I got home, I received a text from Liam. "Vivian, what are you doing? Want to grab some air?" Unlike Ryan, he acted as if nothing had happened and didn't question why I hadn't seen his text. But I felt the same level of repulsion. "No, I'm not going. What's wrong? Who upset our Vivian? I'll teach him a lesson for you." Liam sent a sticker, seemingly trying to make me laugh. If this were before, I might have genuinely laughed, but now, I couldn't distinguish what was genuine and what was fake behind those words. Liam was different from us. He was mischievous and rebellious since childhood, the one who got in trouble the most, but also the one who stood up and protected me the most. Yet, even a person like him had grown into someone who could pretend and deceive me. The 3rd mock exam results came out and I didn't do well, so I'm not in a good mood. I intentionally replied this way. Liam quickly sent a new text. "Oh, come on, it's okay. Our girl is so smart, you'll ace it next time." I chuckled coldly. Liam knew that the 3rd mock exam score would directly affect a student's mental state before the final exams. If I had truly fallen into his and Ryan's trap and failed the 2nd and 3rd mock exams in a row, how could I possibly do well on the AP tests? And all of this was because of Claire's ridiculous bet. I didn't reply further. The next morning, I arrived at school for morning study hall. At the gate, I saw Claire. Seeing me, she maintained her arrogant and contemptuous look, giving me a slight scoff before sashaying towards the classroom. The classroom was already filling up. As soon as I sat down, Jenna rushed in breathlessly. "Vivian, I have some shocking news for you. I found out what happened last night. Claire and a bunch of people were caught red-handed by the principal having a party in the storage room." As soon as she finished speaking, the whole class looked up. A wave of murmurs broke out. Claire's face flushed with embarrassment and she loudly snapped, "What are you talking about?" Jenna realized Claire was there and immediately fell silent. All the students' eyes were on Claire. Unable to endure the stares, she yelled, "What are you looking at?" Then she suddenly buried her face on her desk and burst into sobs. Everyone looked at each other, confused. After the morning study hall ended, Ryan came to bring me breakfast. Ever since he joined Claire's betting challenge, Ryan had brought me breakfast almost every day. The moment Jenna saw him, she excitedly squeezed my hand. "Vivian, it's the brainiac Ryan coming for you again." Ryan wasn't in my class. He was in the neighboring one and the most outstanding male student there. His ranking was only about 10 spots below mine. Although he wasn't number one, he was an elite student. People called him the brainiac because, in freshman year, he often fell asleep in class, earning him the nickname Sleep God. The strange thing was, his grades were always top tier. So Sleep God gradually became brainiac. But outsiders didn't know that Ryan slept in class because he hadn't adapted to the high school pace and pressure in freshman year and could only study late into the night. Seeing how exhausted he was, I lent him my study notes. I tutored him for free during evening study and on weekends. That's how Ryan's grades soared. I never expected repayment, nor did I ever think that the person who helped him raise his grades would one day become a stepping stone for his pursuit of love. "Vivian, I brought you breakfast." "Thanks." I took the bag from his hand and, without a second's hesitation, turned and handed it straight to Jenna. Jenna beamed, thanking me again. Ryan froze, watching my action. "Vivian, this is the breakfast I brought for you." "I know." In truth, every time he brought me breakfast, after he left, I would secretly give it all to Jenna. The only reason I handed it to her directly in front of him today was that the final exams were approaching, and I didn't want to play this game anymore. Ryan didn't understand why my attitude had suddenly turned so cold. He was about to say something when he saw Claire sobbing at her desk. "Claire, what's wrong? Are you okay?" Without thinking, he walked straight towards Claire, the worry on his face unconcealed. Claire heard his voice, looked up, her face tear-streaked like rain on a pear blossom. Ryan asked, "What happened? Are you feeling unwell?" Claire didn't answer. She just kept crying. Ryan, anxious, helped her up. "Let me take you to the nurse's office." Under the eyes of the entire class, the two of them left the room together. Jenna stopped chewing, her mouth wide open. No way. Since when were Brainiac Ryan and Claire close? She then turned to look at me, her eyes questioning. "Weren't you his childhood friend? Wasn't he supposed to like you?" I curved my lips and asked in return, "Do you remember what you said when you first joined this class?" Jenna tried to recall, then suddenly took a sharp intake of breath and quickly covered her mouth. All that morning, Jenna remained in shock over Ryan and Claire. She desperately wanted to gossip, but couldn't find the right moment. So, she just stuck to me. She followed me to the restroom and to lunch. Just when lunch break was about to start, someone suddenly called my name at the door. "Vivian, come out for a minute." It was Liam. "Why is he here?" I stepped out, confused. Before I could say a word, Liam launched into a barrage of questions. "Did you bully Claire from your class? You better watch it." "What the hell? I bullied Claire? Do you know how upset Claire is right now? What if it affects her AP tests, huh?" "Vivian, I never thought you'd be this kind of person. Is bullying classmates fun?" This was the first time I'd seen Liam this furious in school. After a few seconds of shock, I quickly caught on and countered. "Why do you think I bullied Claire? Did she tell you? Since when do you care about her so suddenly?" Liam immediately choked. Clearly, he still didn't want me to know about his relationship with Claire. In truth, Liam didn't even realize his concern for Claire was identical to Ryan's. No, I just heard Ryan say Claire was crying. I calmly asked, "Why did Ryan have to tell you about Claire? Since when are you three so close?" Liam's grades weren't as good as Ryan's or mine, and neither was his debating skill. Under my logical and relentless questioning, he started to stammer, unable to speak fluently. "We just met at the nurse's office, just checking in. I thought she was being bullied, so you immediately assumed it was me, right? Do I look like someone you can easily pin the blame on?" I laughed coldly. I heard she and her friends were having a party in the storage room and got caught by the principal, so it's understandable she's upset. Before Liam could say anything, I quickly added, "Speaking of which, you and Ryan were also locked in the storage room last night, right? Why are you... What are you saying? We were not locked in the same storage room?" Liam fiercely retorted before I could finish. "If you don't believe me, go ask Ryan." Tisk, he looks terrible when his guilt is exposed. I was tired of wasting time with Liam and turned to leave. Liam realized I was angry, reached out his hand, but then withdrew it, not stopping me. After a day of brewing, the incident at the storage room last night spread throughout the school. But the thing that shocked me was that, in the end, Liam took the entire blame alone. He stood in the school broadcasting room, reading the self-reflection report he had written, saying he shouldn't have brought people into the school's storage room to play, promising he wouldn't do it again. From start to finish, he completely concealed the existence of Claire and Ryan. Knowing all this, I didn't know whether to commend Liam and Ryan's brotherhood or to say that Liam's loyalty to Claire was truly unwavering. Days passed quickly, and the sweltering summer arrived. The countdown to the final exams was only 12 days. The school organized the final mock exam. This time, the test was relatively easy, meant only to help students regain confidence. Jenna cheered me on. "The Vivian, you can do it." Having seen me fail the second and third mock exams, everyone felt sorry for me. They didn't know the exact reason, only hoping I could find my state before the final exams and regain my confidence. They didn't know I wasn't even required to take the final exams, but hearing their words still warmed my heart. Claire sneered contemptuously as she walked past. Before the exam started, I went to the restroom. To my surprise, someone locked me inside. "Is anyone there? Let me out." Angry and frustrated, I banged on the door repeatedly. I heard footsteps pass by outside, but the person blatantly ignored my cries for help. I watched helplessly as the bell for the exam rang. It was finally the proctor who heard me calling and opened the door, but it was too late. The news quickly spread throughout the student body. Everyone pitied me. During the evening study hall, students came to comfort and care for me. The scene was warm until a particularly harsh scoff came from the corner of the classroom. Who knows? Maybe she intentionally hid in the restroom because she didn't want to take the test. How else could she save face if she couldn't get first place anymore? Claire's voice wasn't loud or small, but it was clearly audible. Jenna was fuming. "Claire, what rubbish are you talking about?" "It's true, though. She couldn't even score 1,000 on the third mock exam. She's probably afraid of a low score this time. That's because Vivian was sick." "Oh, sick from a 1550 score down to below 1,000. I've never seen such a powerful illness. Who knows how she got her previous first place rankings? Now that the final exams are approaching, she can't hide it anymore, so she's using illness as an excuse." Claire pouted. Just a few casual remarks had completely dismissed all my past achievements. Jenna glared angrily at her and was about to defend me, but I held her back. I stood up, facing Claire directly. "I didn't intentionally skip the exam. Someone locked me in the restroom." Claire's expression was contemptuous, as if I were just making excuses, until I said, "I've already reported this to the head counselor and the principal. After the exam, we'll check the surveillance footage to find out." Claire's face momentarily changed color. "The hallway camera. Isn't that broken? It was fixed long ago." "The final exams are too important," I said with a faint smile, my eyes fixed on her. The smug look she had moments ago hardened, replaced by guilt and panic in her eyes. She suddenly looked up, meeting my half-smile. Claire flustered, not knowing where to put her gaze. The 2-day mock exam finally ended. Not forgetting the restroom incident, I walked toward the head counselor's office, but halfway there, someone grabbed my arm. "Vivian, it was Ryan. He blocked my path." "He knew about this too?" It seemed someone was worried about being exposed and rushed to find backup. I pretended not to know anything, looking at Ryan coldly. "Sure enough," he said. "Don't go, Vivian." I asked plainly why. Ryan replied, "I am doing this for your own good. We're about to graduate. If you make a big deal out of this now, it'll ruin friendships." He spoke as if he were thinking of me. I laughed coldly. I'm the one who was locked in the restroom, and I'm the one who missed the exam. Someone acted so cruelly. What friendship is there left between us? What are you talking about? I didn't know which of my words had hit a nerve, but Ryan snapped at me coldly. He then realized his reaction was too aggressive and cleared his throat. "Vivian, the person probably didn't do it on purpose. If you make a fuss like this, What if it affects their AP scores? Huh. Did that person think about how their actions would affect my AP tests? I countered coldly, locking eyes with Ryan. This reminded me of something I hadn't asked him yet. We were in the same exam room. You must have known I was absent. Why didn't you ask the proctor? Ryan stiffened at my question. He opened his mouth, forced to explain. I didn't know you were locked in the restroom. Then, after I was gone for so long, didn't you ever think something might have happened to me? Perhaps my gaze was too cold and sharp. Ryan didn't dare look directly at me. I didn't want to waste any more words on him and turned to walk away. He still followed close behind, even raising his hand to try and pull me back, but I ignored him. When I reached the head counselor's office door, I saw Liam inside with the head counselor and a strange male student. "Vivian, you're here!" Liam's eyes immediately lit up when he saw me. "Vivian, I heard you were locked in the restroom during the exam? That's outrageous! I caught the guy for you today." His expression was full of the desire to show off his merit. My gaze slowly lingered on Liam, then shifted to the head counselor and the student. "He's the one who locked me in the restroom?" Liam nodded confidently. "It's him. Vivian, I already taught him a lesson for you." Ryan, who had followed me in, finally breathed a sigh of relief. He glanced at Liam subtly. "They must think I don't know anything." I laughed coldly to myself. I stepped forward, looking straight at the male student. "Why did you lock me in the restroom?" "No reason, I didn't mean to, just messing around." "Sorry," he said dismissively, with a dead pig not afraid of boiling water attitude. The head counselor was furious. But not just him. Liam also looked genuinely angry, appearing ready to jump in and hit the student, but raised my hand to stop him. "All right, if you say you locked me in the restroom, then tell me, how did you get into the girls' restroom, and which stall was I locked in?" The air in the room instantly froze. The faces of Ryan and Liam simultaneously changed. The male student stammered, his eyes darting around. "Can't answer? Then it wasn't you. You're taking the fall for someone else, aren't you?" I exposed him bluntly. Liam immediately objected. "No way, Vivian, it was him. I saw him with my own eyes." "Really? You saw it with your own eyes? Then why didn't you rescue me and prevent me from missing the test?" Liam widened his eyes, unable to utter a single word. I looked directly at Liam and Ryan. "The two of you. One tries to stop me from finding the perpetrator, and the other brings a fake culprit to deceive me. Are you perhaps acquainted with the person who locked me in the restroom and trying to cover for them?" "No, that's not true," Liam hastily denied. He didn't know that every time he felt guilty, he showed this exact expression and tone. Ryan was shrewder. His face darkened. "Vivian, are you suspecting us? We grew up together. Don't you know who Liam and I are?" Ryan looked at me with disappointment and hurt. Liam quickly caught on, showing a similar heartbroken look. Precisely because we grew up together? I couldn't believe they had become this kind of people. This incident must be related to Claire, yet Ryan and Liam chose to side with her and let me suffer the loss. I didn't want to argue with them anymore. I turned to the head counselor and stated firmly, "Sir, I hope you will handle this seriously. Today, it was just a mock exam that I was locked out of. What if it had been the final app tests?" The head counselor's expression immediately became grave. He knew my potential. For 4 years of high school, I had consistently held the top rank and won numerous awards, which earned me early admission. The nature of today's incident was extremely serious. If I hadn't already been accepted, and if this had happened during the actual final exams, the school would have directly lost a prize student in its records. The head counselor spoke in a deep voice. "Don't worry, Vivian, I will certainly give you a satisfactory explanation." Very quickly, the person who locked me in the restroom was exposed. As I had expected, it was Claire Bell. The head counselor asked how I planned to resolve this. I glanced at Claire, who was sobbing miserably. The contemptuous mockery she had aimed at me had completely vanished. She was scared now. "Vivian, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, please forgive me," I said coldly. "Just a light apology and it's over? How about I try locking you in the restroom on your AP test day?" Seeing her pathetic state was annoying. Outsiders would think I was being overly demanding, but unfortunately, There were really some fools who thought so. That's enough, Vivian. She's already apologized. What more do you want? Yeah, don't be excessive. Claire said it wasn't intentional. I had only spoken one sentence, and Ryan and Liam immediately jumped in to defend Claire. Liam even comforted her. Claire, don't cry. I forgive you on Vivian's behalf. Excuse me, on whose authority are you forgiving her on my behalf? I pushed Ryan and Liam's hands away. How is this any of your business? Who are you to stand here and forgive her on my behalf? Ryan was speechless. Claire, moments ago, had covertly shot me a look of provocation, but seeing Ryan and Liam rejected by me, she immediately changed her expression. Ryan, Liam, don't fight with Vivian because of me. I know this is my fault. I will accept any excessive demands she makes. As soon as she finished, Ryan and Liam glared at me, as if I was about to commit some inhuman act. It was predetermined that I was to be the villain. Wouldn't it be a waste not to embrace it? Sir, I have no other demands. I just want Claire Bell to publicly apologize to me in front of the entire school. She didn't just lock me in the restroom. She also publicly slandered me, implying my previous achievements were fake. Claire's face instantly went pale. She was obsessed with her reputation. Having to publicly apologize to me in front of the whole school would be worse than being locked in the restroom again. Vivian, are you kidding? Claire is a girl? Yeah, and the final exams are coming up. Forcing her to apologize publicly and lose face like that will crush her exam morale? Their tone was full of blame, implying I should let it go. How ridiculous. If she was afraid of losing face, she shouldn't have done such a wicked thing in the first place. Furthermore, with Claire's mock test scores not even reaching 1,000 on the 1600 scale, what exam morale was there left to crush? I firmly refused to back down. Ryan and Liam were anxious, looking as if they wanted to physically force me to sign a pardon. The tension was palpable. Neither side would yield. Finally, the head counselor stepped in to mediate. How about this, Vivian? Can Claire publicly apologize to you in front of the whole class? That way, the impact won't be amplified, and it will save Claire some face. I had no strong objection and agreed. During the evening study hall, Claire slowly walked onto the podium. At first, everyone didn't understand what was happening, but when they clearly heard Claire apologizing, and the apology content related to me, the whole class erupted in chaos. Murmurs and whispers filled the room. I can't believe Claire is that kind of person. Unable to bear the stares and gossip, Claire stood on the podium, her eyes red, and suddenly burst into tears. Vivian, are you satisfied now? She screamed, covering her face and running out of the classroom. Jenna watched the scene, her expression a mix of surprise and bewilderment. Wow, in this day and age, can the person apologizing still be so aggressive? After that incident, I thought Claire would learn her lesson and retreat. To my surprise, the next day, she arrogantly appeared in class as if nothing had happened. Vivian, just you wait. You'll cry someday. There was only 1 week left until the final exams. I truly couldn't understand what other tricks she had up her sleeve until Ryan and Liam approached me. Vivian, go apologize to Claire. Are you serious? Apologize to Claire for what? Liam also looked at me disapprovingly. They seemed completely oblivious to how obvious their relationship with Claire had become. Ryan even framed this as helping me manage friendships. I crossed my arms, my eyes sweeping over them. Ryan, Liam, anyone who didn't know would think the three of you grew up together. What is it? Do you two like Claire? Is that why you'd turn on a childhood friend and wrongly accuse her? Accusing others is easy, isn't it? Their expressions instantly shifted. What are you talking about? I didn't bother to listen anymore, turning to leave. To my surprise, Ryan grabbed my arm tightly. Vivian, if you don't apologize to Claire, don't even dream of going to the same university as me. Ryan had once told me he wanted us to work hard and get into the same university. Only later did I realize he just wanted to lure me into a relationship to affect my grades. I smiled coldly, glanced at Ryan, and turned away. I had thought Ryan only meant he wouldn't list the same school as me on his application, but I was wrong. Not only that, he wanted to completely sabotage my final round of tests, leaving me without even the right to apply to college. In a roadside, Claire was sobbing and crying. I'm in so much pain. I don't want to live anymore. She also said, "What did I ever do wrong?" "You did nothing wrong. It's all Vivian's fault." Liam mentioned my name, his voice full of annoyance. He still blamed me for forcing Claire to apologize, making her upset. Seeing Claire crying bitterly, Ryan was heartbroken and helpless. "Claire, don't cry anymore. What do we need to do to make you happy?" That question seemed to hit a nerve with Claire. Tears welled up in her eyes as she looked at the two boys in front of her. "In this state, I can't focus on the app tests anymore. It's all Vivian's fault." "Ryan, can you steal Vivian's SAT admission ticket? I want Vivian to be just like me and able to take the SATs and other final exams. At the graduation reunion, I'll tell her the truth. I want her to kneel and cry in front of me." A venomous, insane light gleamed in Claire's eyes. Facing a request that could completely destroy my future, Ryan and Liam once again chose silent agreement. Perhaps I should have exploded and exposed their wicked faces, but I suppressed my fury. A different thought surfaced in my mind. Fine. If their hearts are so vile, I won't mind playing one final game with them. The countdown to the SATs and AP exams was down to 5 days. The school gave students a 3-day break before the test. I packed all my belongings to take home. After all, I didn't need to take the test and I wouldn't be returning to the school afterward. Ryan and Liam came to my class. "Vivian, let us help you. We'll walk home together." They acted completely normal, just like the good old days when Ryan and Liam would walk me home every weekend, each carrying some of my books. "Thanks," I said, offering a faint, cool smile. As I walked past Claire, I saw her looking at me, giving me a difficult to-read, knowing smirk. When we arrived home, Liam and Ryan set my bags down. "All right, we're off now. Vivian, good luck with your test." If I hadn't overheard their previous conversation, I might have believed those were sincere well wishes. But sweet words from them were poison to me. After they left, I opened my textbook and checked the inner flap where I had tucked my admission ticket. Sure enough, my ticket was gone. They had not disappointed Claire's expectations. The next day, I deliberately showed up at the principal's office. As I walked out, I bumped into Claire. "Oh my, you are so unlucky. First, you were locked in the bathroom, and now you've lost your admission ticket. Maybe the universe doesn't want you to go to college." She looked utterly smug, gloating over my misfortune. Behind her, Ryan and Leah, perhaps guilty, remained silent, avoiding my gaze. "How do you know I won't get into college?" I countered, staring at Claire. She assumed I was just being stubborn and scoffed contemptuously. I turned to Ryan and Liam, pretending to ask, "Only the two of you touched my things that day. Are you absolutely sure you didn't see my admission ticket?" Liam turned his face away. Ryan frowned. "Vivian, you lost your own ticket and you're suspecting us?" I gave a self-deprecating laugh. "Fine, I hope you won't regret this." On the morning of the big SAT test day, all the teachers and seniors gathered in the auditorium. The principal was delivering his final motivational speech. When I arrived, the speech was nearly over. Jenna asked, "Why are you just getting here? Did you find your admission ticket?" I shook my head. Beside me, Claire sneered, "What's the point of showing up without your admission ticket? You probably won't even be allowed into the testing center. Who said I came here to take the exam? Then why are you here?" Claire asked, confused. Just then, the principal's voice boomed. "Finally, please welcome Miss Vivian Hayes from 12th grade to give a speech to all teachers and students." This year, Vivian secured the school's single early admission slot right at the beginning of the semester. She is humble, studious, and has outstanding academic performance. The principal's praise continued, but as soon as the words early admission dropped, the crowd burst into commotion. Jenna stared at me with wide eyes. "Vivian, you got early admission? How did I not know?" Of course, she didn't know. The day I received the letter, I requested the principal to keep it a secret among the students. The principal had asked why, as it was something worth boasting about. I know, but I wanted to see if anyone would truly fall for Claire's betting post. Looking back, I was fortunate to have been careful. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known about the betrayal that followed. At the time, I used the excuse of not wanting to put extra stress on my classmates during the final year. The principal, head counselor, and teachers agreed to my request. Only a handful of people in the school knew I had early admission. That's why I stayed in school, attending classes as usual, just without the pressure of the final exams. Now that the exams were near, the principal wanted to give the students a final boost of confidence by having me speak. Actually, the day I went to the principal's office, I didn't go to report a lost ticket. The principal had called me in to discuss my speech. Before stepping onto the podium, I turned to Claire. "I never said I lost my admission ticket, Claire. How did you know about that?" Claire's face instantly went white as a sheet. I swept past her and stepped onto the podium. My speech was short, but filled with powerful, stirring momentum. We have all worked hard together along this journey. Very quickly, my words energized everyone, their passion boiling over. It was time to leave for the testing centers. I stood by the road with the principal, seeing the candidates board the buses. When Liam and Ryan walked past, both looked utterly devastated, especially Ryan. His steps were unsteady, his expression listless, his eyes vacant. The moment his gaze met mine, he stumbled, barely staying upright. In that state, going to the test would be disastrous. I smiled faintly to myself. Sure enough, as I predicted, when the exam results were announced, Ryan failed to qualify for any university. Liam and Claire, meanwhile, dropped out mid-test. They lacked the courage to step into the testing room for the remaining subjects. Before the exam, the three of them had confidently sworn to make me fail the test. Now, that oath had boomeranged straight back at them. You could only call it poetic justice. But the story wasn't over yet. Not long after, I sent the principal 2 video clips and 1 audio recording. One clip showed the 3 of them discussing the theft of my admission ticket. The other was outside my house, where Liam pulled out a piece of white paper, which Ryan watched coldly as Liam tore it up and threw it into the trash. This was the admission ticket, torn to pieces. These 2 videos, plus the audio recording outside the counselor's office that day, were enough to prove that the 3 of them had conspired to deliberately sabotage my college entrance exams. After watching the evidence, the principal's face sank. The parents of the 3 students were summoned to the school. In this whole mess, Claire was the mastermind. When her parents realized their daughter had committed such a malicious act, her father slapped her across the face without reservation. Apologize. Apologize to her right now. Why should I apologize? She provoked me first. To everyone's shock, Claire remained stubborn and unrepentant. I listened to her words of resentment and hatred, truly unable to understand what I had done to make her hate me so much. We had no prior enmity. Our academic standings were worlds apart, and we rarely interacted. Yet, she constantly bore this baseless hostility towards me. I didn't understand until Claire screamed her frustrations at me. I suddenly remembered her hatred for me stemmed from 2 incidents that occurred at the beginning of freshman year. The first was the school's anniversary celebration. Claire signed up to sing, and her 3-minute performance dragged on for 10 minutes. The expressions of the school faculty leaders slowly shifted from enjoyment to impatience. Finally, under the principal's subtle direction, I signaled for the background music to be cut. To my surprise, Claire sought me out right after leaving the stage. "Vivian, what was that supposed to mean? Did you intentionally try to embarrass me?" I sang 3 songs. It was time to end. "Didn't you hear the audience cheering for an encore? I think you're just jealous of my popularity." I was truly infuriated by her. She didn't know that because of her, all the subsequent acts had to be cut and rearranged. But Claire refused to listen, repeating the same accusations. I was too tired to argue with her, and the matter simply faded. I just remembered that Ryan had been angry at me for that incident. The second incident was the homecoming queen election. A trend to elect a queen suddenly emerged at school, and both Claire and I were nominated. Because I steadily held the top academic rank, my recognition was high. Many students who didn't know me but knew my name voted for me. Seeing my votes far surpassing Claire, who was in second place, she decisively posted a carefully edited cherry blossom photoshoot album on the school forum. The crowd was immediately captivated, and Claire ultimately won first place. Speaking of this, the reason I immediately recognized the poster of the betting dare was because the accompanying photo was very similar to her previous cherry blossom photos. Since then, Claire often swaggered in front of me. I originally didn't pay her any mind. We were students, and the most important thing was studying for the SAT tests and college admissions. There was a significant score gap between Claire's scores and mine. There was absolutely no rivalry or conflict of interest. But I didn't expect my indifference to be perceived by Claire as arrogance and provocation. Therefore, to drag me down, she didn't hesitate to use herself as bait, spiraling deeper and losing control. So that was the reason I found it too ridiculous for words. Claire, honestly, your capacity is not even enough to be my rival. That statement further enraged Claire. She screamed hysterically, looking like she was having a mental breakdown. After repeatedly apologizing to me, Claire's parents dragged her away. As for Ryan and Liam, since we grew up together and our families were longtime acquaintances, their parents were too ashamed to face mine. They forced Ryan and Liam to apologize to me, chewing them out and scolding them severely, then hauled the two boys away from the school. It wasn't until the university's acceptance letters were announced that I saw Liam again. He had already accepted that he wouldn't get into college and was preparing to go straight into the workforce. Vivian, I'm sorry. I don't know what kind of torment Liam had gone through at home during this time. He looked so emaciated, like a defeated middle-aged man with none of his former youthful swagger. Can you ever forgive me? No, get lost. That was my last conversation with Liam. After Liam came Ryan. Before apologizing, he asked me, "When did you know about our plan?" It wasn't late, actually. It started when Ryan said he wanted to attend the same college as me. Jenna was excited then, asking, "Vivian, doesn't the brainiac like you? How can he?" "We're just friends who grew up together," I whispered. Then, the next evening, I noticed Ryan had liked a video suggestion on a short video platform. It was a girl dancing whose face wasn't shown. I immediately recognized it as Claire's account, as her profile picture was identical. At first, I thought Ryan had accidentally liked it, but when I checked his profile, I found that he and Claire followed each other. Moreover, he had liked and commented on every video Claire had ever posted. I frowned, and Claire's betting post flashed in my mind. Ryan had apparently liked that post too. To confirm my suspicions, the next day I found the teacher who managed the school forum. I used the excuse of wanting to find study tips from older students and asked the teacher to grant me access. He opened it for me without suspicion. I logged in and checked. It was true. Claire's post had over 1,000 views, but only about 10 likes. And among those 10 accounts, I saw the profile pictures of Ryan and Liam. Based on these 2 points, I deduced that Ryan was doing this for Claire. Ryan's face under the streetlight was terrifyingly pale. "Vivian, I'm sorry." Honestly, the moment Claire asked me to steal your admission ticket, I regretted it. I remember those days when we walked to school and studied together. I really did want to go to the same college as you. Ryan's voice was hoarse, but my heart remained unmoved. After that day, we never saw each other again. It wasn't until I went to college, interned, and graduated that I heard news of Ryan from former classmates. After failing the college entrance exams, Ryan chose to retake the SAT tests, but his scores got worse every year. Finally, unable to bear the pressure, he jumped from a bridge. Ironically, Claire, who had already left school to work, happened to be passing by. She witnessed the entire incident. Her already fragile mental state, triggered by the shock, completely collapsed. She went insane.